Sabbatical.
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 Sabbatical. Sabbatical.
Sabbatical.
Sabbatical.
Sabbatical.
Sabbatical. Time of rest. Time to recharge. Rejuvenate, if you will. Just take a break. And that's what we're going to go on. Now, we're going to go on a 3-month sabbatical. We're going to come up with a plan, which I think we kind of have an idea, but we're going to try to make it more of a plan. And we're going to take you with us. We want you to see some of the things that we had to think about before going, some of the planning involved, and then, of course, our trip. We want to document that just to let everybody know that, hey, sabbaticals are possible, and they're fun. At least that's what we're hoping.
So you can't just go on a sabbatical. You got to actually plan it out a little bit. Some of the things that we wanted to consider before going on this 3-month trip was stuff like work. You know, what are you going to do for an income? Do you have an income set up? If not, you're going to stay within the same job, you know, how's that going to work? So for me, I am going to remain in the same job. I'm just taking a break, coming back to the work, but I had to put a lot of things in place in order to make it run smoothly without me being there. Luckily, I was blessed to have a great boss who supported it and understood that, yeah, after 27 years, it was time for me to take a break. So bless his heart. I'm glad that all worked out. The people, the management team that I have in place to cover me, just are spectacular professionals, and really could not have worked out if it wasn't for them. But point being, you know, your income and your job that you're leaving behind, there's stuff there that you have to get in order before just leaving for 3 months. Another thing you have to consider is what are you going to do on that sabbatical? Are you going to stay at home or on rest, which I don't recommend, or are you going to go on a big long trip to where you can leave everything else behind and go on this trip? So what did we decide?
Well, we had to talk about where we're going to go, who we're going to see, what we're going to do. So I think we kind of started out with, what are some places we really want to see. So one of Rob's places he's always wanted to see is Niagara Falls. So I kind of fell in line with well, if we're going to go that far, I really want to see the New England fall, all the colors and the beautiful trees and all that. So that's kind of where we started. That's where we wanted to head. And then I think we just threw in the other things. We had never been to Zion. We want to see Zion. We want to see Crested Butte is a place we've been before. We love it. So Rob loves biking there. We want to go there again. So
to go to these places, you have options. You can fly there, get in a hotel, but we chose to jump in our truck and tow our camper. So our camper is a 2005 Attitude 23-foot toy hauler. It's designed to haul toys, but no, we decided that we are not going to do any toys. We're just going to fix it up a little bit and tow it. But it is an older trailer, and there's going to be a lot of driving involved. But that's just the way we chose to do it, mainly because I like driving.
Mm-hmm. And we love our trailer, even though it's old. We still love this thing.
So when we said this is our plan, what we're going to do, we found a website called Good Sam's, and on there you can log the points that you want to go see, and then it will map it out. It'll also map out any campsites you want to see or go and visit. We are going to use 3 different services: Hip Camp, Harvest Host, and Good Sam's to kind of book the majority of our trip. And I think we're going to try to leave it open to where we have a lot of flexibility. We're not going to have every day planned. That's just not who we are, and that's not what we want it to be, because we want some rest. So it's important to know that you're doing this to rest, and traveling across the U.S. in a truck or RV might not be restful for you. So everybody's a little bit different.
I think we do have points where we are specifically going to be someplace, and where we're meeting some people. So, but mostly in between, from different stops, we give ourselves a couple days in between places we want to see for travel time also. So we're not spending long days driving from one spot to the next. So we can break it up into smaller drive days in between, and it's just giving ourselves some cushion in between the different places we want to stop.
For sure. So we had to get the trailer ready. This thing is, like I mentioned, it's older. It's a 2005. It needed some work. We put a lot of miles on it. We love to camp, so we've already used this trailer quite a bit. So one of the things I had to do is get the generator running. I've been battling the generator, some fuel issues, so I have to get that generator out and get it repaired, get it working, just in case we don't have power where we're going. Another major thing was our trailer frame is sagging, if you will. There's a bunch of cracks in it, so I need to get that fixed as well. And a battery box. My battery box, it's just needed some upgrades, so I want to rip that out and I want to replace it with new batteries and a new battery compartment, if you will.
But on the inside, you can see where we're seeing we got captain seats. This was bench seating around this table that were old, you know, from years of kids in motorcycle gear jumping on everything, and they were not very comfortable. So we pulled the bench seats out and got these two captain chairs. There was also like a sofa bench type seat that folded down into a twin. We yanked that out, and Rob redesigned an IKEA cabinet now that just fits perfectly in there, and it's awesome. Oh, and then I did one of our biggest things was the shower. You know, this is gonna be our home. You know, you need a camper showers are small, so we installed like one of the extender curtains, so it makes the curtain come out further, and a new shower head that's got a lot more power to it. So those
got approved very fast because I'm a
Yes.
big boy and I like my space in the shower, so it really was very helpful just to put a different shower curtain in there and a different shower head, so that worked out great.
Also behind us, the curtains, you know, so like, because we don't have separate, like if I get up or he gets up, we have no separation, so at least we can close the curtain or just to make it darker if we want it. We also installed a light that's just a touch light. Those are great, so if you are someplace where you don't have power and you don't want to, I don't know, you know, the touch lights just are awesome, the little strips, and you just touch them, and we have those in the bathroom, we have them in the closet, in here. Actually, I'd like to install some more around, they just make it easy so you don't have to worry about sucking up your battery, and you can have a quick, bright light if you need it.
Well, another thing is the trailer need a brake, so I want to replace all the brakes on the trailer as well. I know it's going to take a little time, but it's something I want to get done. I'm a kind of a guy that loves tech, and so I wanted to install some cameras. So my plan is to install some Nest cameras, just so we can keep an eye on the house while we're away. Yeah. So what are you taking with you? You got to prepare. We got the bikes fixed. The kayak is ready to go, and some fishing poles.
You got to get matching. You got to get a lot of matching things. This is really important in our fall decor, because we're gonna see some fall.
It makes it feel homey. Yeah, for sure. One thing I did around the house is I went and I tried to eliminate any high maintenance areas. Like we have wind sails set up in the house in the backyard. When the wind comes every year, something pops or breaks. I just took those down. It's like, I know I'm not going to be there. I don't want to leave that burden for anybody else, like my sons. So I just took them down. So eliminate any high maintenance things that you usually have to take care of when you're home. If you can, that'll give you a little more peace of mind.
And if you have a favorite plant that doesn't have a sprinkler on it, assign somebody to water it.
If you're goofy like us and you want to record everything and put it out there for the world to see your adventure, you need to put a website together, a YouTube channel. I kind of wanted to have some of that in place before we left, but I wouldn't. I'd just go out there and have fun. Take a sabbatical. Whether you record or not, that's on you. And if you want to put it on a website, sure. Take the time and do that. You can do it on your trip or do it ahead of time. Up to you.
Another thing that Susie and I thought was really important is that we had a will put in place.
That's
So,
a Dave Ramsey idea.
yeah, it's more of a Dave Ramsey.
It's something we've been meaning to do for a long time, but thought this is a good time to get this thing done before we go on this big trip, and just traveling so much together. If something were to happen, we wanted to make sure everything was in order. A will and a trust.
Family trust. Yep. So we got that put together. Just makes it a lot easier on the family, those you leave behind, if everything is already set up ahead of time. Cancel some Amazon auto ships.
It's insanity. Cancel Amazon? No way. I know. Subscribe and save. I am a fan of subscribe and save. And yeah, I had to edit that. I didn't cancel it. Whatever. I just put it to not on certain things, not to deliver for several months. But if anyone was around about 1.5 years ago when there was complete panic, when there was no toilet paper at the store, I had plenty of toilet paper that lasted. I never ran out because I subscribed and saved through Amazon, and I got a stockpile of that stuff.
That is all true. And plus our kids are going to be home to receive the mail and to receive Amazon's packages that they will need. There was some stuff that we took out. Miss Susie loves chocolate, so we stopped the chocolate going to the house, and we're gonna have to find an Amazon locker or something to get all your chocolate delivered.
I bought a whole box with me. It's in the fridge.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
It's enough to last 3 months.
Yeah, but those are some of the things you got to think about. Is what are the stuff that you have set up on autopilot, and you're no longer going to be home. You got to cancel those.
And you did mention mail. That's another thing we set up with the kids, where we're going to connect with Robbie. We talked about we've heard of there's a mail service that all your mail gets scanned and sent to you, but it just seems most of our mail is junk, so it just seems a waste of money. And since we got the boys there anyway, they're going to sort through what they think is junk and what they looks legit, and we'll FaceTime with them when we need to determine if it's something important. That was another thing about the kids. We did, leave them with jobs. Obviously, they always have, pick up dog poop, trash, things like that. But, reminding them who's in charge of what. And, they really have grown and matured over the last couple of years. I think it's going to be good for them and good for us.
That's a good point. We've had some friends that kind of criticize us regarding leaving our kids, and it was more like, are you just going to let them be or give up on them or something along those lines? And I gotta be honest with you, us being away from our kids is probably the best thing for them. They're gonna be on their own. They are old enough, they're both young adults, but this is not only gonna be a good time for Susie and I, but also a good time for them to learn, to figure things out. And we're only a phone call away. And we have good neighbors in place that if they run into any issues, they're close.
Neighbors and friends that will definitely check in on them. I like to joke with my boys that since they haven't left to go to college, since our kids won't leave, Rob and I are going to leave.
There you go. Your kids won't leave the house, you should leave the house.
Right.
Also want to point out that we are not selling our house, obviously. Our house is there, and it also has, with that is going to be all your bills that have to be paid. Well, everything we have is set up on auto payment, so we don't write any checks ever. We don't really write checks unless we are forced to, but really we don't. So everything's set up on auto. We don't have to worry about anything like that. Another thing, a big thing, is deciding what you are going to bring for a 3-month trip. Not an easy task. Not an easy task. And how much room you have is going to decide on really what you're bringing. Like I mentioned, we have a toy hauler. We don't have toys in it. So it gives us a lot of room down below and above the bed to store a lot of boxes, to store really whatever we want.
But it's a 23 foot. It's not a big toy hauler it's not like a fifth wheel. It's just a regular trailer, no pop outs, It's not huge, but we do like to think of ourselves as minimalists in a way. Probably not in the true sense of the word minimalist, but we really try to just really bring the essentials, and just figured, hey, if there's something that we absolutely need, we can always just get it on the road. And also clothes. It's hot. It's hot. We're leaving California right now. I don't know. We're Colorado but when we get up into the northeast, it's fall. It's going to be cold. So I packed all my boots, and I'm excited to wear my boots. I've mentioned that a few times already.
Yeah. So that's another thing, is where are you going? So we planned out our trip. We're basically starting out in Eastvale, California, and we're going to go to the East Coast, and we're stopping in places like Crested Butte, Colorado, Omaha, Nebraska, Ohio, I think it's Cleveland, Ohio, and Niagara Falls, Wisconsin, going to Maine, and then we're going all the way down south to Florida Keys, and then back essentially to California. We're making a lot of stops in between, which is another issue, not an issue. One thing we need to be aware, one thing we need to consider is making sure you don't overbook your sabbatical. Sabbaticals are meant for rest and to recharge. So I chose to go drive across the country in order to do that. Now, the only way that was possible is the fact that I like to drive, and Susie and I spend a lot of time together already, and it's good for our relationship to be able to sit and talk. I feel we do that pretty well.
Yeah.
Even though, well, it's also the worst thing we're at is communicating, so go figure. But that being said, make sure you have somebody that with you that is very low maintenance and just won't stress out about things, because traveling, it can be stressful.
A lot of things go wrong, and we have lots of stories, travel stories of blown out tires, things getting lost, things flying off, hitting stuff. But now they're funny stories. At the time, yes, it was a little, stressful, but, it's all part of the journey.
Sabbatical.